Hello and welcome back to Crafty Not Shifty. This is Laura and today I'm going to be sharing how to make some super cute Easter shaker cards. These cards can be filled with sequins and gems, or like I have here, you can fill them with small sweets. I've chosen to use Smarties and M&Ms. So you're going to need these particular craft dies. They are fillable treat dies and I'll have a link to them below. They come with a number of different shape dies for decorating your card, and then this main section here which is the outline, the egg, and then the Happy Easter sentiment. And I'll be using these three to create my cards. So I'll lay these down on my work surface here, and I'm just making sure I've got an even space around each of the dies, and once I'm perfectly happy with the position, I'm actually going to use some micropore tape to hold them in place. You can use any low-tack tape, you could use painter's tape, masking tape, micropore as I am, or washi tape, whatever you have on hand. And this is going to make it really easy for me to make multiples of this card. So what I'll do is I'll take this die and I'm actually going to use all different coloured cardstocks. I'm making a few of these cards, I'm making 6 in total, and I'm going to make 2 in each of my colours. So I've cut down some cardstock from my stash and I'll go ahead and run this through my die cut machine. So I'll just lay this down on top, make sure I'm happy with the position, and then run that through. These cut perfectly. It's quite an intricate design, but I had no problems cutting here. I do have a shim in my big shop. I find that I use that with most of my dies. I'm not sure if it's because my plates are so well loved and used, but I do find that that metal shim helps. To help me with any of the pieces that are stuck inside of the die after I've cut everything out, I'm actually going to bring in a foam mat here and this tool from Sizzix. So this is, it's kind of like a stiff roller, and you just rub that over the back of the die and that will help to pop out all of the little pieces. Obviously I do still have that micropore tape, so any of those sections it won't be able to remove the little pieces, but I can just go ahead and rub that over the actual die itself and it will just help to pop out all of those teeny tiny pieces. So as I mentioned, I am making multiples. The dies come with coordinating treat cups. I bought a full packet of those. They come as 6 separate treat cups, so I'm going to make 6 of these cards. So I've gone ahead and skipped to where my die cutting is complete, or at least for this part of the project. I did the exact same thing, created 2 each in pink, orange and green. I'm then going to take these card bases. These come in a pack, as you can see on the screen here, and they're really handy to store this way, and then you can just flick through and pick out your card base. They have a perforated edge, so you can just pull those out, and I'm going to pick 2 each in the chevron pattern, 3 in the chevron pattern and 3 in the dot pattern. So in each colourway I have both a chevron and a dot design, and I'll try and have a link to these below as well. I got these quite some time ago, but I think they are still available. They're really great to keep on hand for quick and easy cards, particularly if you're working with kids. You can go ahead and stamp something out or die cut something, stick it on top and add a sentiment, and you're good to go with these patterns. These cards are standard A2 size, so they are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches when folded. So from the centre front panel of each of these cards, I'm going to cut out the egg shape, and that will create the section where we can put the treats. So again, I'm just using micropore tape. I stuck it down on the back of my hand first to remove some of the stick. I find that that's really useful when you're running something through a die cut machine, because that extra pressure will really help the tape to stick, so it's useful to remove some of that sticky residue to help it peel off cleanly. So I just run that through my die cut machine. I like to run it through in one direction and then push it back in the other direction just to be sure of a perfect cut, and it does cut through really easily. So you can see here this creates a nice quick and easy card, and I went ahead and did the same thing with each of my card bases. I'm using here my bone folder just to reinforce the score lines, and then I've pre-cut some white pieces of card that will fit in the background. This is going to help create a section that I can stick my treat cup to, and I can also create a background for my shaker part. I was trying to decide here if I was going to use the exact same piece for my egg, and these are just the pieces that we cut out with that die, or if I wanted to mix and match the designs. I decided to keep it the same. So I'm going to apply some double-sided adhesive. This is using an ATG gun, and then I'll just line up my piece of white cardstock inside my card base. Because of the fold there, it will hang out the side, but that's fine, we'll clean that up when we're finished. I'm just going to line that up and press down the egg. It's really easy to do, just using the space that's left in the front of your card and inlaying that inside. And again, I did that to all 6 of my cards. I find it easiest to work like this when I'm creating multiples of the same design. I'll do each of my steps all in one go, so all of my initial die cutting, picking out my card bases, then creating the shapes in the windows of the cards, and then adding in my inlay. I'll do each of those steps for all of the cards before I move on to the next piece, and I find that it goes really quickly this way. Okay, so now for the fun bit, adding the sweets. So I've got this egg cup here, and I believe these are available in multiple different shapes. And again, I'll try and find a link to those and leave that in the description and also on my blog. So here I've got some Smarties, and I'm just laying those out on my desk. I was trying to decide if I was going to kind of colour coordinate with the colours, or if I was going to add random ones in, and I decided that random would be best. Otherwise I think I would have needed quite a lot of Smarties to make sure I had only green inside of the green card, and I would have had some sweets left over as well. So I'm laying them into the treat cup here, and I'm just making sure that it's not too bulky because I want it to lay flat when I add my white piece in the background. To seal this up, I'm just applying some more double-sided sticky tape, being careful not to apply any of it where the sweets may be because I don't want any to kind of overlap and touch those sweets, because I guess the idea is that we will eat them in the end, so I don't want them to be contaminated in any way with the glue. So I'm just going to pick this up and kind of hold it steady with the treat cup in place. And then I'll lay my card insert with the adhesive side face down, just being careful to line that up with the inside of the card. I'm lining this up exactly the same as I did earlier when I added the die cut inlay piece, so this way I know that everything will sit exactly where it's supposed to. And then I'll just press that down and close the card to ensure everything's stuck in place, and you can see how great the shaker is. If you don't want to use sweets, you could of course use any normal sequins and glitter and things, and I think that would make a really nice design as well, but I decided to use sweets for this one. Now it's time to start adding some of the decoration to the front of the card. I'm taking each of the pieces here and I'm running through my Xyron Creator Sticker machine. This machine here applies some double-sided adhesive onto any of the paper areas as you run it through the machine, and this works really great for adhering stuff down. Now one thing that I did find is I think that either the cardstock I used was a little bit too flimsy or the design was a little bit too intricate for this particular sticker machine. I think perhaps it would have been better to apply some double-sided adhesive such as stick-it adhesive sheets onto the back of this card before I did the die cutting, and then I would have just had to peel off the backing and stick it down. But I'm showing you what I did here. You could also use a glue pen or a Pritt stick or whatever you have to hand to be able to glue this to the front of your card. So I'll go ahead and peel those pieces up. I ran all of them through my sticker machine, and then I'll just press those down and that adhesive will help that to stick. These frames here work really well to just add a little extra interest to that element of the sweet treat cup. And then this sentiment is a perfect way to add a sentiment to the card without adding too much to it. I think with this bright polka dot design, there's enough going on here without having to add any extra stamping, and it just makes it a really quick and easy card. So I'm making sure all of the pieces are laying down flat, and then I'll just burnish that in place. So I went ahead and followed the exact same steps for all 6 of my cards. When I'd run out of Smarties to use, I opened up a packet of M&Ms and I found that they worked really well as well. I would have liked to have used the peanut M&Ms, they are my favourite I think, and I found that they were perhaps a little bit too bulky for these treat cups. I think you could make it work with bulkier sweets if you use 2 of the eggs sandwiched together with a piece of cardstock in the middle to create a 1-layer card, or at least a 1-layer sentiment sheet, and you could write your message on the back. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I hope you're having a lovely bank holiday week. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I'd love it if you hit the subscribe button, and you can also tap the bell icon to receive a notification whenever I publish a video such as this one. That's going to be all from me today. I'll be back again soon sharing some more crafty videos. On screen right now are a couple more videos that I think you might enjoy. If you haven't already seen them, you can go ahead and tap on the icons and that will take you straight through to the video, or you can click on my logo on screen to subscribe to my channel. That's all from me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.